to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. In this video, we are going to discuss the second step of the rDNA technology, that is fragmentation of DNA. In the previous video, we discussed the different steps involved in rDNA technology and the first step, isolation of DNA. Now, fragmentation of DNA. After isolation, we got the DNA strand. Now we have to fragment it into small pieces so that we can get the desired gene from it. So how can we cut it? With the use of certain enzymes. So the enzymes used for cutting DNA fragments are called restriction enzymes, or specifically they can be called restriction endonuclease, or they are also called molecular scissors or chemical scalpel. These restriction enzymes are a group of enzymes called nuclease. Nuclease are the enzymes that can digest DNA. So the nuclease enzyme, depending on the way they are fragmenting, can be of two types: exonuclease and endonuclease. Exonuclease, the word meaning of exo is out, endo means in. So exonuclease can remove or cut the fragments from the ends of the DNA. You can see here, from the end it is removing the fragment. Whereas endonuclease can cut from within the DNA molecule. So that's why it is called endonuclease. The credit for the discovery of restriction enzymes goes to three scientists: Werner Arbour, Hamilton Smith and Daniel Nathan. These three scientists received Nobel Prize for this discovery in the year 1978. So this discovery was from observing the bacteria. They found that certain bacteria have got a defense mechanism to prevent or restrict the growth of the virus attacking them. What do we call the virus attacking bacteria? They are called a bacteriophage. So, how can they restrict the growth of this virus within the body? So, once this virus attacks the bacteria, we know the virus body consists of only a protein code, this black protein code, and this red color is the genetic material. It will transfer only the genetic material inside. So, the DNA of the virus is inside the bacterium now. Now, this bacterium has got its own defense mechanism for cutting off this DNA. So, but we know these enzymes will cut at specific sequences. We will learn about it later. So, when it is cutting this DNA into many fragments, it is destroyed. So, the bacteria are safe from the attack of virus. But the problem here is, when it is cutting this DNA, won't it cut the bacterial genetic DNA also? So, this self DNA should be protected. So, for that they have a mechanism. Whichever sequences the restriction enzyme is cutting here, the same sequences may be present in the bacterial DNA. So, all those places the enzyme will attach a methyl group, CH3 group. Okay, methyl group will be attached. So that is called a methylase enzyme, adding methyl group to the self DNA. So once it is methylated, the restriction enzyme will not act. Whereas the second enzyme, restriction enzyme, will go and chop off the viral DNA so that the bacterium is protected from the viral infection. So these restriction enzymes are later found to be very useful tool in recombinant DNA technology, as we can cut the DNA whenever we need. What are the types of restriction enzymes? There are different types of restriction enzymes. The type 1 restriction enzyme cleaves at sites remote from recognition site. That means they will have a particular sequence that they can recognize so that they can cleave the DNA, but they don't cleave at that particular site but little away, far away, actually not little, far away from the site. Almost 1000 base pairs away from the site. Whereas type 2, when we talk about, they cleave within the recognition site. Maybe 4 to 8 base pairs long recognition sites are there. Within that it will make a cut. Okay. Whereas the third type cleave at sites short distance away. Third one is also like the first one, not cutting at the recognition site but little away, maybe 25 base pairs away. Here it is remote from the recognition site, type 2 within the recognition site, and type 3 away. Now, for the normal functioning, the type 1 requires ATP S-adenosyl methionine multifunctional protein. For the proper functioning of the enzymes, they require certain additional factors and cofactors. So type 1 restriction enzymes require ATP, S-adenosyl methionine also for their function. Whereas type 2 requires only Mg2 plus as cofactor. Again type 3, they require ATP and S-adenosyl methionine. The type 1 can do both the functions we discussed, that is methylation as well as cutting, whereas type 2 is exclusively doing only the cleavage of the DNA. Two more restriction enzymes have been identified. They are type 4 and type 5. Out of the different types of restriction enzymes, the most commonly used one in genetic engineering is type 2, because type 2 restriction enzymes can cut within the recognition sites. So, what are the recognition sites? So, the restriction enzymes can make cut only at certain specific sequences within the DNA. That is called a recognition site. Let us familiarize with some of the restriction enzymes. Here you can see EcoR1, BAMH1, HIND3, PVU1, HAE3. So, these are all different types of restriction enzymes. Now, how do we get the name EcoR1? The naming is, there is a convention followed for naming. Escherichia coli is the source bacterium, because we learned restriction enzymes we extract from the bacterium. So here EcoR1 is a restriction enzyme that we extracted from the bacterium called Escherichia coli. The strain of that bacterium, because in bacterium, in the species, there are different strains or varieties available. So the strains are given different names. So here RY13 is the strain. So when we are naming the enzyme that we obtain from that, we take the first letter of the genus name, that is E. First two letters of the species name, CO. Then the strain name is RY13. From that the first letter R is taken. Then there is a Roman numeral, that is 1 here. This 1 stands for the order in which it was found in the bacterium. So this is the first one to find in Escherichia coli. Okay, before this the first restriction enzyme isolated was HIND2. That was from another bacteria called a Haemophilus influenzae. Okay, so the first to found was HIND1, but the first to isolate out was HIND2. And even then there is the naming, conventional naming started even after that. Okay, then Bacillus amyloliquefaciens, H. So Bacillus genus name, so B taken. Amyloliquefaciens species name, so first two letters AM taken, so BAM. Strain name is H, so H, and this is the first one to isolate from that particular bacterium, that is Bacillus amyloliquefaciens, so 1. The same way Haemophilus influenzae, H in, and here the strain is RD, R is already taken, so D is used here. HIND3, 3 means it is the third found in the bacterium Haemophilus influenzae. So these enzymes, any restriction enzyme can cleave or can cut the DNA only at certain specific sites. Those sites are called the palindrome sequences. You know what are palindromes? Palindromes are nothing but the words which you read the same in both the direction. Suppose if you see Malayalam, if you read from here, it is Malayalam, backwards also Malayalam. Or Madam, I am Adam. The Madam itself is a palindrome, or the whole thing. Madam, I am Adam. Again backwards it is same. So these words are called palindromes. The sequences also show palindrome, but it is a kind of rotational symmetry. Okay, how? From 5' to 3' and when we are reading, GAATTC. Again you have to read in the next strand 5' to 3', GAATTC. So it is like a rotational symmetry. Palindrome sequences, but each enzyme has its own specific palindrome sequence that it can recognize. Now, how do they make the cut? There are two types of type 2 restriction enzymes based on the way they cleave the DNA. Some of them, like this Escherichia coli, this BAMH1 or PVU1, all these, they cut little away from the center. Not exactly in the center, but little away. Here, between G and A. All these restriction enzymes can or make one cut on both strands of DNA. So here, center is here. But it's not cutting at the center, it is cutting little away from the center, that is between G and A in the first strand. So where will it cut in the second strand? Same side, G and A between that. Okay, so two cuts are made on both the strands. So as a result, here the cut is made. So this will be a staggered end or a stretchy end produced. The same way, here this cut is produced, so here it will be a stretchy end. Okay, so that how will we see? For example, if this was the DNA, okay, so this side had GAATTC, GAATTC. Okay, so once this part is cut, what will happen? We will get this part is cut off, right? Here it is cut off. So, one half will be like this, because this here up to this cut, but this end is stretchy. Whereas the other one we will get like this. Right? So, in both these, there is an overhanging stretch of sequences. They are called as staggered ends or sticky ends. So, if I cut another DNA piece with the same enzyme EcoR1, this is a restriction site, recognition site for EcoR1. So, if I use the same EcoR1 for cutting another DNA, there also I am going to get the same sticky ends with the same sequence, because it will cut only between G and A in this particular palindrome. So, if I can bring both of them together, possibility of sticking them back is there. Always remember, for cutting we are using restriction enzymes, but for joining we are using ligase enzyme, that is molecular glue. We have to stick back. Okay, so if we are using the same restriction enzyme for cutting two DNA, they produce complementary sticky ends. They are not same but complementary, so that they can be kept. HINE2 has this sequence 5' AAGCTT 3'. The same way here. It is also making a cut little away from the center. Whereas, when it comes to this, HAE3, here, GGCC, that's the palindrome. But the enzyme is cutting exactly in the middle. So, we are getting blunt end. No sticky end or staggered end is present here. So, the type 2 restriction enzymes can produce either of this, either sticky end or blunt end, but we want the restriction enzymes cutting with the sticky ends for rDNA technology, so that we can join with another DNA of interest.